Hello and thank you for being with me again. Today I want to talk to you about being a Christian and how we're meant to be Christians for those around us. There are two portions in the Gospels that tell us a lot about our task as Christians and how we're meant to be for those we come into contact with. And they both shed a lot of light on how exactly we're meant to be, especially with those trying to find their way around us. And so the first of these is when Jesus said, "You are the salt of the earth." Now, salt is a very interesting material because we all know that we use it every day in life and especially in cooking. But we also know that when cooking, if we apply too much salt, it spoils the food. And so the function of salt is to make the taste that is already in the food come out and be more clear to us so that we can enjoy the food more fully. And so Jesus telling us that we are meant to be the salt of the earth is telling us that what our job actually is to bring out the beauty in the world and in the people that we encounter in our world. And in so doing, allow people to enjoy this beauty more. And just as applying too much salt spoils the food, we're not meant to impart so much of ourselves on the other person that we make them almost copies of us, because that would spoil the beauty that's in them. We're not supposed to see us in them, but Jesus and his life in them and the beauty of their lives. The second of these quotes is, "You are the light of the world." And this is a very interesting one as well, because a bit like the salt, the light that we have, if you think of a light fitting in a building, is not really meant for you to sit and look at the light itself. It's there to provide the possibility for us to be able to see clearly in a place that would otherwise be dark. It gives us the capacity to find our way where otherwise we would be floundering in the dark. You may have a beautiful chandelier that may be admired, but even that ultimately is there to provide light, and people can look at it for so long, but then they use the light provided by that chandelier. And so we see that here again, the actual light itself is not the important thing. It's what that light allows those around it, the people around it, to do. And this is our Christian calling, that we're here to provide light to the others so that they may find their way without having to battle and flounder in the dark. But there's another aspect to this light that I find very interesting. I spent about 5 years, a little over 5 years, in the South African Navy as a chaplain. And in that time, obviously, spent quite some time at sea. This gave me a whole new view of lighthouses. And a lighthouse is a very interesting object in our world. The main function of a lighthouse is to provide a definite point of reference, because you can be traveling for a long time, and when you're at sea, unless you've experienced it, it's hard to imagine that it's just sea around you when you're really traveling some distance. And when you start coming, after all that navigating, you arrive at some continent, get closer to your destination. This lighthouse provides you with a definite checkpoint, a definite point of reference where you can be sure just where exactly you are. The lighthouse is not there so much to warn of a danger behind it, as it is to give you a point of reference, a definite point of reference, so that you can navigate the dangers that are indicated on the charts around that area and be safely underway. And here too we see what Christians are called to be. We're called to be a point of reference for people, so that as they go through life trying to find their way, we provide a definite point of reference, a definite point that they can use to navigate the dangers and the difficulties of life, to have a definite way of finding their way forward in this life. And this is our calling as a Christian. Our calling as Christians is not merely to improve our relationship with God, which obviously forms the basis then of the other callings that we have, but also to be here for those around us, bringing them God's light and bringing out the beauty that God has put in each one of them. And this is true Christian service in its truest form. And I pray that you may be this point of reference for those in your life, and that they may find their way clearly because of you. And may God bless you. Thank you.